Hey guys, you know what? It's the fall time of year, and what that means here in the Murphy household is that we start thinking about the fall activities, and hunting is certainly that is what we do here in this house. So I want you to know before we even do this cooking segment that anything that we catch, whether we're fishing or hunting, if we take that animal, we certainly appreciate that animal gave its life, and so we make sure that we cook it. We never kill something and not have the intentions on putting it on the table, and I want you to know that when it comes to hunting and fishing. It's a part of what we do every day in this life. So with that being said, we've got some venison, and we're going to make one of my favorite dishes is venison spaghetti sauce, or venison spaghetti. The reason we eat so much venison here in this house, it's so much better for you. It's a lot lower, you'll see as we brown this meat, it's a lot lower in grease. We don't really have to drain any oil off. Some of the things that I'm gonna put in my spaghetti sauce, I like it really chunky. I don't like a soupy type of sauce, so I want you to know I'm gonna saute some mushrooms, big chunks. I've got some already diced up onions. We're gonna saute those while we're browning the meat. The cool part about this meat is it's already been processed. So what we'll do is when we kill a deer, we take the back straps and the tenderloins out of the deer, but then the hams and the shoulders we take to a processor. And that processor will turn it into different varieties of sausages, chorizo. It'll also turn it into hamburger, and so we use that hamburger in our spaghetti sauce as well as other things that we'll cook. And if you guys enjoy this cooking segment, we'll share those with you later on. But first off, to get started, you can tell they package this up for us, so it makes it really, really simple. Most of this stuff is about 1.5 pounds package to 2 pounds. So you're gonna just need a simple frying pan. I'm gonna cut this, and we'll drain this, the blood. They vacuum seal it for us there at the processor at Tips of Texas. Just like if you were cleaning a fish, you're gonna cut out the bloodline. After I get done getting this out, it's really simple. We're just gonna brown it. I'm gonna add some seasoning. I like garlic salt. I like cracked pepper. So salt is also something that we use a fair amount of. Most people are afraid to get involved with the salt, but I've learned from some of our friends that are chefs that it's necessary. And we'll get this pan, which is eventually going to have all my sauce. So we're gonna take this onion, and it's already diced up. And then these mushrooms, again, these are just sliced white mushrooms. I'm gonna now put this on the burner and I'll saute that. I'm gonna put not any seasoning, but I am going to put a little bit of olive oil. And the reason why I'm doing that is primarily that olive oil brings out the flavor of the mushrooms and the onions, but it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. I'm just opening these up now. I won't drain the stewed tomatoes off. Because I like it chunky, you gotta be careful. If you drain off all the tomato juice that's built into this can, then what happens is you get dry. And if you have dry sauce, or you gotta add more sauce like this, it just has a tendency to, you gotta add water. And whenever you add water to anything, it takes away the flavor in order to make it saucy. They call this a chopper, and this is gonna allow me to chop up that ground beef. So I use 2 tools. I use a spatula so that I can actually turn it over. The parts that are down already, they're getting brown. I've got this burner on high, wide open, is as fast as it'll go. Let me turn on the fan here, a little bit low. All I'm gonna do is I can use this chopper, which really works well. We just go here and twist your wrist a little bit. As it starts to brown up, what I'll do is I'll use the spatula to flip it so that I don't burn one side and have raw meat on the other side. Really important whenever you're cooking meat, and I'm sure everybody who's watching knows this, but I just want to say it anyway, that we get it good and brown. Now remember this about any wild game that you're cooking, because it doesn't have added fat that you would get from beef, it's going to cook a lot faster. That's number one. And then number two, once you take it off of the burner, it's going to continue to cook. And what makes venison really tough is when you overcook it. So if you're cooking a piece of tenderloin or you're cooking a piece of backstrap and you like it medium, you need to take it off when it's medium rare. If you like it medium rare, then you need to take it off when it's rare, because after you take it off, because again, it doesn't have any fat built into it, it continues to cook as it cools. Again, I'm gonna stir my onions. Oh yeah, they're coming around quite nicely. So it looks like we're about done here. Now this is what's so crazy. I wanna show you this. This is so neat to me. Most of the time, if we had ground beef, this bowl would be full of grease. And as you can tell, because it's venison, it just doesn't have that. So I'm not even gonna have to drain this into a strainer. We're just gonna go ahead and dump this on top. And we'll leave whatever juices are left in the bottom of the bowl or in the bottom of the pan as we go here. So you look at the difference. That's hardly anything to worry about. And that's one of the things that we like about using venison. I'm gonna probably, because I didn't add any additional garlic salt. Remember this too, guys, you can always add at dinner. If it's not salty enough or it's not peppery enough, I'm gonna go ahead and add these stewed tomatoes. And again, I don't drain off the juice. As you can see, I'm not gonna drain off the juice. I'm just gonna go ahead and dump it in there. We're gonna go ahead and open up the ragu. We're gonna dump that in there. Nice. It's gonna be absolutely wonderful. Now, I'll teach you a little trick. If you get too much sauce and it's a little bit too soupy for you, as you cook it, leave the lid off. So what you're doing is you're reducing the condensation. Okay? And the reason what that does is if you put a lid on it, the heat steams it and that condensation goes right back into your dish. But if you want something to be a little more dry, then just don't heat it up with a lid, and then the condensation over time will bleed off some of that soupiness. All right, so check out this spaghetti dish. We're gonna fill up our bowl here, our pan right here with the water level, and then we can slide this in, and then once our spaghetti is cooked, we just pull this out and wash the spaghetti down, and then we can leave this in the sink while we dump this and keep that cleaning process going. It doesn't matter, you can use whatever brand you want, but one thing I always look for is gluten-free spaghetti, because spaghetti is already high enough in sugars and carbohydrates, so if I can get one that's just a little less, I've never noticed that there was really any difference in the taste. I add a little bit of salt to the water, and the reason why I do that is because salt water actually heats up faster than straight fresh water. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some of that, a little oil so that my noodles don't stick together. We'll wait till that water comes to a boil, and then we'll put that spaghetti in there and cook it for about 10 minutes, and then we'll be ready to eat. So now it's just a matter of how much spaghetti you want. This plate here is going to be for Miss Murphy. Again, remember I had mushrooms and onions and all kinds of stewed tomatoes in here. she is Italian, so she's a saucy girl. So you're gonna watch what I do here. I'm gonna take some of the sauce and less of the ingredients, and we put it on there because she loves the sauce. Then she's gonna want some cheese. So we'll sprinkle some cheese on there for her. And then she can decide if she wants some salt and some pepper. We'll serve that with a Caesar salad or an Italian type of salad. And that's it, man. It's that easy. It's usually that quick. And there it is. Table for two.